Hey guys, it's Kyle Thompson here with eXp Realty, bringing you another market update for Kamloops. And this week we're going to be covering apartments. Let's jump right into it. All right, so at a glance, we had 52 new listings, 17 new sales. The average list price was $382,900. The average sale price was $376,168. Properties are selling for 98.21% of their list price on average. It's taking an average of 28.53 days for properties to sell, and we ended the month with an inventory of 132 units. Now let's take a look at what that does for the market conditions. I like to use both the monthly supply of inventory method and the sales to new listing ratio to get a more complete picture of what the market is doing. So when we use the monthly supply of inventory method, we see that last month we came in at 5.39, which puts us square in the middle of a neutral market. If we use the sales to new listing ratio instead, we come in at 33%, which is firmly into buyer's market territory. Now let's take a look at the actual inventory. Last month was another big month for new listings. We actually had the most amount of new listings for any month over the last 12 months. Sales continue to slowly grind higher, rising from 15 to 17, and expireds have been trending lower for the last 3 months, whereas last month we only came in with 6 units. The benchmark price for an apartment rose $2,000 from $378,100 to $380,100. Now let's take a look at the end of the month inventory. This just shows over the last 10 years how much inventory there was at the end of the month for this time of the year to give a gauge as to how things are going. And last month, we ended the month with 132 units, which is about a 6% increase over the 10-year average of 125. If we look at new listings instead, we see that so far this year, there's been 102 new apartments listed, which is about 19% above the 10-year average of 86. When we take a look at units sold instead, we see that we are off to an abysmal start, the second worst in the last 10 years. So far, we've had 32 units sold, which is about 35% below the 10-year average of 49. Now let's jump over and take a look at the sales dashboard, starting off with average sale price. These are measured year-over-year changes now. And overall, the market is actually up about 3.18%, with most areas being up in price or flat, with the exceptions of Dufferin, Sahalee, South Cam, Sun Rivers, and Brock. So actually, it's more of a mixed bag. Now, the most expensive areas currently are Tobiano, Westside, and Valley View, with an average sale price of $480,000 or more, whereas the cheapest areas of town are Sun Rivers, North Kamloops, and Brock, all with an average sale price of $370,000 or less. Now let's take a look at the sales to list price ratio. What this is just on average how much properties are selling below the list price, so it gives a good gauge as to how much negotiating room there is if you are a buyer. And last month, we came in at 98.21%, which is the second highest over the last 12 months, which means that there is less room to negotiate on price if you are the buyer. It has been on a pretty straight up line since December. Now let's take a look at units sold by sub area. Once again, these are measured year over year, and overall, the total sales are up about 4.63%. And it's been a mixed bag across the board as to which areas are up or down. Currently, the busiest areas of town are South Kamloops, Sahalee, and Sun Peaks, whereas the areas with the least amount of volume are Dufferin, Tobiano, in Valley View, with a combined total of 7 over the last year. Now let's take a look at how long it's taking properties to sell, starting off with the 10-year average. So far, year to date, it's taken an average of 36 days for apartments to sell, which is the second lowest year to date over the last 10 years, behind only 2020 when we came in at 29. And we are about 49% below the 10-year average of 71 days. So properties are moving extremely quickly. If we look at the trailing 12 months instead, we see in the month of February, it took an average of 29 days to sell, which is the lowest by far over the last 12 months and is about 50% below the 12-month average of 58. Finally, let's take a look at properties by sub-area. Once again, these numbers are measuring year-over-year changes. And when we look at it that way, properties are taking longer to sell, about 35% longer than they were from the year prior, with the fastest areas of town being Tobiano, Sun Rivers, and Brock, all with an average days on market of 46 or less, whereas the areas taking the longest to sell are Sun Peaks, Sahalee, and Westside, ranging anywhere between 74 to 134 days. That's all we have for today. I hope that you guys are continuing to get value out of these market updates. If you are, consider liking and subscribing to the channel. And if you have any feedback or suggestions on things that you would like added to the market updates, feel free to leave your suggestions in the comment section below or reach out to me directly. All of my contact info is in the description. Thanks for watching.